Oh, we're live again! Oh, Valhalla! All right, this is COFOH Live Undead. I am your host, Daniel Crosier, and we are joined by the amazing Tim Schultz of Mile High Horror Film Fest. Wow!
You write something on my face?
Tim, how are you, sir?
Doing well, doing well. I love that opener, Dan. That is that is amazing. No,
Thanks.
yeah. No,
we like a lot of pink paint, really.
you can't go wrong.
No. I appreciate it. You know, Tim, it's great to have you on and be able to chat with you again. And we can't wait to see Mile High Horror Film Fest. You know, can you tell us a little bit about this year?
Yeah. We are super excited to be returning October 7th through the 13th. This year it is virtual, so you can stream it from home, stream any of the movies at your own convenience. And we're really super excited about it. We have several shorts packages. I believe it's 7 shorts programs. So, and these are some of the best shorts from around the world, along with several feature films. So we're super excited about it.
Cool. That's awesome. And is this your second year having to do it online due to a current pandemic?
Yeah, we originally were supposed to return May of 2020, which of course was right when all of this, everything started to fall down, in March. And we were just watching it day by day and just looking, at what was happening. And it was really crazy. And then we were forced actually to postpone because the theater, had to close. And so we did. And then we rescheduled it to the fall of 2020. So a year ago, last fall, it took place virtually. And that was our first time doing anything virtual.
Wow. I remember last year I was able to participate, COFOH was, by, doing these really cool script readings. I think that was, something that, well, we did that online, was that something that, you would even attempt in person, had COVID not occurred?
Not online, in person, probably, yeah, but
Okay.
not online necessarily. I mean, it's changed everything, COVID. And
Yeah.
first of all, big props to COFOH for doing that and helping us out and helping present those. We loved partnering with you. It was a lot of fun, and we're so grateful to have your help this year doing some of that as well. So thank you very much, Dan and COFOH. And it's really, but everything changed with the virtual, and it's even the whole entertainment industry, the whole market. Like, there's so many things that have changed with. And if you talk to the average person that watches movies, I think a lot of people are way more into, that I know anyway, are way more into streaming movies than they were prior to COVID. I mean, I love movie theaters. I love going to movie theaters. I love hosting screenings at movie theaters, and we definitely intend to do that again. But I think in general, people seem more apt to also be willing to stream some films.
Yeah, it certainly has changed the landscape. I still miss the whole in theater event, where you're in there with the camaraderie of your fellow attendees and audience members, and enjoying that thing on the screen. and it's changing it over to at home. I mean, it's so convenient too. You don't have those exuberant price tags of the food and everything, but you get to hang out with your loved ones.
Yeah, you can wear sweatpants. You don't need to worry about anything. You can look like a zombie and watch from your couch. But
which I do every day, sweatpants and look like a zombie. Sometimes smell like one too. Oh, I know. I feel bad for my girlfriend.
No judgment here. No, but yeah, it's virtually. I mean, I think there's the pros to it. There are pros, and one is being able to watch from home, and we've seen what has happened with HBO Max and some other places that they're doing some theatrical screenings at the same time as being able to stream it from home, and I think it's just a lot has changed, but it doesn't take anything away from the value of seeing a movie in a movie theater. I love movie theaters. I cannot wait to and to be honest, when we return to a movie theater, which we fully intend to do, I think it'll probably be a movie theater and virtual, and do both of them because there's an audience for both.
Nice. Yes, very much so. Very much so. The Tim, you and I go back a few years. One of my most exciting horror event sensations was at your event. Was at Mile High Horror Film Fest. I think it was either the first or the second one out of the gate when you guys were located at the Tivoli. And then the following year, I think it was at the C Center, and then eventually you went to Alamo Drafthouse in Littleton, and every time I watched the crowds grow, but they were always bringing like their exuberance and their love and joy over the genre, and it's like, wow, I've kind of found my home, and I have you to thank for that, so I really appreciate that, and this is from a guy that has been tabling at Comic Cons for a while, and those, the big box events, you've got like 10 times the crowd, but it's the horror crowd that's just so engaged and joyous.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, some of the nicest people in the world too are horror fans, which goes against, I mean, people that are horror fans already know this, but for people that are not, you could assume the generalization that horror people are, he's into horror films, but no, right. There's some of the nicest people. It truly is a community, and we've really tried to embrace that it is a community. It's like a horror family. It's like because I hope that anyone watching this, if you've attended our film festival, that you came away feeling that way, because we really feel that way. We want our fans to feel that way, because it really, really is. And I just did a virtual Q&A a few minutes ago with someone that we're doing that. So one of the shorts blocks this year, most of them are new films before they're released to the general public. Well, nice. I mean, you can see them at some of them. We have some US premieres, some other premieres. But most of them you can't see anywhere else. And they're new films, and they're excellent. Some of the best around the world. But we're showing one shorts program. One of them is our best of. And so I curated some of the best shorts that we've ever shown. And I'm super excited about this block. But one of the films, I literally just got done interviewing one of the director of this movie called The Legend of Beaver Dam. I don't know if you've seen it, but it played Sundance, and it was very, very successful back in the day, and it won the Audience Award for Best Short Film at our festival. So all the films we're playing are award-winning, Audience Award-winning films. And nice. The Legend of Beaver Dam, it's this horror comedy, and I think I sent you a picture. I don't know if you're able to pull it up. There's no pressure if you can't find it, but it's to your point. When that movie screened at our festivals, along with several other movies, but I just brought it up in this Q&A, I just remember the crowd just roaring and people just going crazy. And you don't get that from an average audience, but you get that at a horror film festival, at least at our horror film festival and at the Mile High Horror Film Festival. And it's just very, very exciting to see that, to feel that energy and to be a part of it.
Yeah, most definitely. It's absolutely, just such a delight, seeing that. I think one of my last, I did went to a screening. It was Scream Screen, with our friend Teresa Mercado, and she had brought out Felissa Rose from Sleepaway Camp, and it was just a few months before the pandemic hit and everything, and it was great seeing that film. I remember seeing it as a teenager, and saw it by myself on VHS, and it's okay. It was a fun film, but seeing it in a theater with a group of really engaged fans and the camaraderie in there, it made seeing that film again a completely different film and a completely different experience. And it was very enriching, and it's something that I won't forget. It's so cool. We do have, the promo clip that you sent over.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and play that for everybody that's tuning in, so they have a better understanding of what to expect.
All right.
Oop. I guess I don't know if that was it or if we're having technical problems. No, we got looks like it got a few minutes that didn't quite make it. Shoot. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, there was just another shot after that, but that was the bulk of it. There's a short teaser there with some clips from some of the movies that we're showing. So yeah.
That's cool. What what's with this event? What films are you really excited about? You mentioned Welcome to Beaver Dam. What other features do you have going on that you're excited to share with people?
Yeah, so we have quite a few features and shorts, but for features, there's a movie I'm excited about called Apps.
Oh, cool.
It's from South America and independent, but I believe it played Sitges, which film festival people out there will know is one of the most reputable, largest film festivals out there. At least we respect it quite a bit, but I could be wrong about it. Played Sitges. I think it played Fantasia. At any rate, it's called Apps, and it's an anthology film with several different stories, and it's basically about apps, on our phone, how people, and there's insidious things that happen with some of these apps, and it is all about that. And so it's a theme that I think is very much relevant, and the film itself has very high production value, and I really, really enjoyed it. There's also a short film we're playing called #NoFilter, which I think is going to be in Shorts program number 1, but it has a similar concept. It's also very well done, but it's a similar concept of an app that basically, in this particular short film, it's supposed to make you look better, and I think, which a lot of people can empathize with, because nowadays with all the filters on Insta and all these other places, you can basically make yourself look like a model if you want to.
Right.
And so it shows kind of the darker side of that, of how someone will do practically anything for likes, and then it gets pretty gory. But it's a really well done short film that I'm very excited about. But it's a very relevant relevant topic. And which reminds me, you know, horror, just like other genres, but horror goes in trends, and you see things that in movies that are definitely relevant to the times, and that's one of the things that is popping up now.
That's such a great great comment too, because all good art really reflects the world around you, and horror is one of those things that can really showcase what's going on, and what to be aware of too. That's really cool. We've been getting a couple nice comments coming in. James says Primo the Clown here checking in from Colorado Springs, and then Cassandra says hi guys, and
Hello.
Rich was remarking on I think the Apps movie. Thought that was very nice. So
yeah, and well, thanks, Rich. Also, we have there's a feature, Brain Freeze, that I'm excited about.
Right.
It's also foreign, but it's a zombie film. It's a new zombie film that it's playing our festival, so it's not out yet. You can't see it anywhere else, and it's definitely worth a watch. It's a new take on the zombie subgenre of horror. So
cool. Yeah. Can you probably don't want to tell us too much about it, but you sent me a few stills, and the cinematography looks absolutely fantastic, and
the production value is super high. It's very well acted, excellent sound design. Has to do with a nefarious golf resort where they use a special kind of fertilizer or chemical in the grass to grow this grass, and these people start turning into zombies, and things fall apart fairly quickly.
Nice. Wow, that sounds really cool. Definitely looking forward to that. With that too, like typically at a film fest or a convention or something, you're going to have guests and panels and stuff. What other kind of programming can we look forward to online?
So this year we are mostly doing films. We do have the judge of our short film category this year is the writer creator of Final Destination series, Jeffrey Reddick. So
Sweet.
And also for the feature category, the judge is the co-writer, director of the Blair Witch Project, Dan Myrick. And both of these guys have been with us for a number of years, and we're so incredibly grateful to have them. They're huge advocates for our festival. We're really, really thankful to have them back as special guest judges. But to answer your question, this year in this virtual platform, we are mostly focusing on the films themselves, because we've found that people mostly, that's what they want to see, and so that's what we want to give them.
Okay, cool.
But along with that, because it is a film festival, and we do interview quite a few of the filmmakers and actors involved in the film, so we do have plenty of interviews that you can stream along with it. So if you rent X movie, then there could be a Q&A interviewing the director or the actors from that movie.
Okay, cool. That's pretty sweet. Where can people go to sign up for the online film festival?
Well, they can go to our website, which is www.mhhff.com for Mile High Horror Film Festival.com, mhhff.com, or you can we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can check us out. We link to the program, but it's actually on a platform called Eventive. So I believe it's eventive.org, but we link to it from all of our social media, as well as on our website itself. If you just go to where it says 2021 Festival and click on that, or you can click on screenings and news and find it fairly easily. But we have these packages of you can rent a film individually, or you can rent, a pack of 5. We have a killer. I believe it's a slasher. The slasher pass is the 5 pass. And then
Nice.
we have a Scream Pass, which is 10 if you want to watch 10 movies. And we're offering this virtual event for 6 days, so October 7th through the 13th. So you have 6 days to stream them pretty much at your own convenience. And
Cool.
a lot of these films, like I mentioned, you can't see them anywhere else. And
Right.
And so that's one thing that's really special about a film festival. And a lot of these films will be out in a few months, or but
Right.
not now in most places. So
Nice. That's so cool. Rich wanted to chime in. He's a long advocate of horror. You're very welcome. I am a haunted house actor for 20 plus years. I enjoy horror films very much. Also have to see the new Halloween Michael Myers. It will be spooktacular. So long time Michael Myers fan. One of the originators of the slasher genre.
Yeah, that's one of the. It is, arguably, right up there with one of the first slashers, and that's a classic. But yeah, I'm super excited about Halloween Kills coming out later this month, as well as the new Train to Busan movie that's coming out at the end of the month. But yeah, there's some really good, really exciting stuff coming out. But this Halloween Kills has a lot of buzz about it for sure.
Yeah, Tim, you as a fan, and I also know you as a filmmaker in your own right too. But as a fan, like, what was the one film that hooked you?
As a fan,
I got you going in this genre.
That's a good question. I remember, I'm going to age myself, but as a kid in grade school, I was watching Freddy Krueger and, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
And
nice.
That, of course, that's, everyone's seen A Nightmare on Elm Street, but I saw it as a kid, and that movie really, really left an impression. It was really hard to sleep for a while. As I got a little older, I mean, The Exorcist is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so incredibly exciting to host Linda Blair in 2013.
Oh, cool.
And we've also, hosted Eileen Dietz, who also played the demon in that movie.
Right.
And it's definitely, and I believe there's a new one that's going to be coming out, or they're getting ready to produce it, or I don't know.
Yeah. Isn't it at Blumhouse or something?
Could be. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. But yeah, super excited about that. And of course, one of my favorites of all time, also mainstream. I have plenty of indie favorites as well, if you want to talk about that. But
sure.
As far as the mainstream stuff, The Shining, which everyone, probably everyone's watching this has probably seen The Shining, but it is so unbelievably iconic and one of the best of all time, in my opinion. If I were talking to someone and they're not really a huge fan of the horror genre, I'd definitely recommend it. Stanley Kubrick is an absolute genius. There's so many ties to the state of Colorado, and so many interpretations as well. There's plenty of ways, scholars that interpret it different ways, and it's really just one of the best of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's a dynamic film, and it's so gripping and jarring at the same time. It's really sinks your teeth in. And then as a person that's seen it numerous times, you go back and you see new things, and you can really dissect the scenery, and sometimes you can really devour the scenery. But yeah, what you were mentioning too, like independent films. What are those go-tos for you?
Well, I mean, there's so many. We see way more from running a film festival.
Yeah,
film festivals are known for showing independent films, so we show primarily independent films. We show some mainstream stuff, but we show a lot of indie films, and we're a huge fan of it. And, you know, I used to go to Sundance every year and South by Southwest and these different places where they also showcase these, and to scout for Mile High Horror films. And there's just some excellent ones out there. There's one in particular, I will come up with the title before this is over, but I'm going to have to look it up because it's been a few years, but it's this Korean revenge thriller that is one of my favorites of all time. I will definitely look it up as we're talking. But
yeah, let me throw out a name. Would it be Old Boy?
No, but that is excellent. That's a good guess.
Okay. That's cool. Now, you're interfacing with a lot of filmmakers. They're doing their own independent thing, you know, and you're seeing all this new films coming out during the time, you know, during the pandemic. You know, are they, you know, talking to you and saying, hey, you know, even during this time with COVID restraints, we're still able to make our art? You know, is that what you're finding the case, or are people having to sit on their work, or, well, what's going on, you think?
Well, I think, you know, when COVID initially started, I interviewed Dan Myrick, the co-writer director of the Blair Witch Project, and he had at the time several projects that just had to be paused. And I don't think he's alone. I think a lot of people had to pause production for a period of time. I mean, no one really knew what was happening. It was difficult to get things moving in production for a lot of people and for a lot of companies. But now I think that has changed. And, you know, I've interviewed quite a few people this year for this 2021 festival for movies that we're showing that were shot during COVID. Well, I mean, it's still COVID. I mean, COVID's not over, but, you know, they were shot during, they've found a way to do it. So I think production now is absolutely definitely happening. And even last year in 2020, fall of 2020, I remember interviewing a couple of directors who were working on major stuff, other stuff that was in production as I was interviewing them for Netflix and some other places. And they had so much, Netflix had so much, I mean, obviously they have a lot of money, but they were able to keep everyone protected and go through all of the protocols to have masks and check people and all this stuff. And so they were able to continue even back then in October of last year. So, but I think it has paused, you know, some productions for sure, especially in the beginning. But now I think a lot of people are figuring it out.
Yeah.
I think the distribution model, though, is this might be kind of nerdy for some of you watching, but if you're not really into this, but, you know, as far as how films are distributed, that has, I think, in my opinion, definitely changed, you know, with COVID, things are so much more, you know, more apt to be streamable sooner.
Right. Right. There's that level of accessibility too, you know, with that. Yeah. Not only the convenience of home, but, you know, your favorite titles are coming out, you know, sooner, quicker, you know, probably, you know, because of that pause of other productions being shut down, but making room for something else that's getting wrapped up. Yeah, been seeing a little bit of that. The in terms of like organizing a physical event, an in-person event, in years past versus you know, doing you know, something online, you know, is one harder than the other?
I would say that, you know, I would say a physical festival is more difficult to produce because there are fewer components to it. I mean, it's more difficult to, sorry, it's late. my caffeine is worn off here, but
oh no,
the physical festival. Yeah, no, the physical festival, I would say, is more difficult because there are more components. There are more logistics,
right?
You know, but the program, the film program itself, that's still a similar amount amount of work, even in a virtual world. And you still have marketing, and you still have plenty of other components of a film festival that continue. But if you're not hosting thousands and thousands of people in
Right.
a space, I mean, that, if you think about that, I mean, you run COFOH, so you know, but it takes a lot of people, physical people, to be there.
It does.
And you have volunteers, and you have staff members, and there is more to it at a physical event, I would say. And then anyone that comes into town, if they fly into town, you're dealing with flights, hotels,
Yeah,
transportation.
Yep.
And so there's different challenges, I would say.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The you mentioned earlier that that horror, you tend to see things kind of wax and wane with trends, and you mentioned a couple of films, apps, and another short one dealing with the horror of apps and the media that it gets us hooked or addicted to. What other trends are you noticing from some of your submissions and the films that you're gonna share with your audience?
Mm-hmm. Well, one of them that is new for this year that's totally irrelevant is COVID, because now some people have to wear masks, and well, not some people have to wear, a lot of people have to wear masks, and it's just changed our lifestyle for so many people. And there's one film in particular that I'm going to find the title here, but it's basically, there are two people standing across the street from each other, and wearing masks, and they sort of pull down their mask and show each other their face, and they kind of like each other, and then they get closer and closer. And it turns out that one of the people is actually turns out to be a vampire, but you can't see the teeth with the mask.
Right.
It's really well written.
Nice.
And so I would say that's a new trend. Not that there's tons of films about life during this age of COVID, but that's something I had never seen before, but it's completely relevant. There are a lot of I would say that's one of the new trends for sure.
Right. Yeah. With horror films, to me, it's one of the most accessible, genres. And you mentioned the films that got you hooked and everything like that, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Shining, those sort of films. What would you say to folks that say they're not really interested in horror movies, but still go out and see movies like Silence of the Lambs, Ghostbusters? Those are all films to me. Like Silence of the Lambs is a wonderful dramatic piece, but it's also a slasher flick, and Ghostbusters is a horror comedy to me. What would you say to those folks that are kind of teeter? Like, for instance, my mom tends to do that, and then we introduced her to The Walking Dead, and now she's way open to all kinds of things now.
Yeah, I think horror has this stigma to it where people think that it's just these absurd slashers where people are just killing each other left and right, and there's like blood everywhere, and it's literally horrible things. And horror, as most people watching this probably know, if you're a horror fan, there's so many subgenres of horror, and there are so many different types of movies that are excellent. And I would argue that it's not for everybody, but a fair amount of people that think that they don't like horror movies probably like some types of horror movies, if you go there, because like horror comedy, there's so many excellent horror comedies out there, thrillers, psychological thrillers. And I love a good slasher as well, of course, don't get me wrong. And I love those types of movies, but it's not just that. And I think fans know that. We try to play at the Mile High Horror Film Festival. We try to play a really diverse array of films. We try to play something for everyone, especially in the shorts. We put several different types of movies, and you're guaranteed to probably like almost all of them, I think. But if you don't like a certain type of film, it's over fairly quickly, and then you're on to another one. But it's really special that you can put all those different types, those subgenres into a block.
Yeah. With filmmakers, especially say, next year's Mile High Horror Film Fest, how would you recommend, filmmakers, applying, or submitting, their works, to you? How would you recommend they go about that? And what are you guys usually looking for?
So you can go to our website and click, we have a button to submit, and we use a site called Film Freeway, which a lot of film festivals use. Yeah. And it's the largest, most reputable one out there, in my opinion. But you can find our page on there. I think it's filmfreeway.com/Mile High Horror, or you can go to our website and find it, and then you submit a screenplay or a feature film, a short film. We usually have a Creative Colorado competition, and
oh, cool.
We also, if you're in the state of Colorado, there is a discount for people from Colorado to submit. And what we're looking for with movies are basically, it doesn't have to be a high budget film. Mm-hmm. A lot of indie films are not, in fact, but they can be excellent. You can make an excellent film. I just interviewed a guy who made this is hard to believe, but there's a kid, he's 17 years old. During the pandemic, when it was in lockdown, he made this movie for $500, and the production value is just through the roof. And that's hard to do on $500.
Right.
It's really an excellent film, or we wouldn't be showing it. We really believe in it. But I just think that technology has changed things where you can make a really high quality movie on a lower budget. I think for us, it's all about the story. The story really helps. It goes a long ways because it helps keep the viewer engaged. If there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, you have a climax, you have the 3 acts, then the story can really go a long ways, I think.
Nice. That's so cool. You sent over some more stills of some of the films that you're showcasing. Wanted to, I'll throw the rest of them up, and if you could, if you're able to chat about them, to hear some of your feedback and what you're looking forward to with these, being shared with an audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. So, so this was the first one I downloaded from the lot. Sweetie. So that's grisly.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually, the film it's a feature film called Sweetie, You Won't Believe It, and it's kind of it's a horror comedy that's new, that we are super excited to show, and it's got some gruesome parts. It's also has some comedy and a really well done score, and
nice.
We're super excited about that movie.
Yeah, this
very high production, but see, that guy is trouble.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, definitely. Don't pick him up at the diner. Leave him at that truck stop.
That's right.
Yeah,
Sweetie, You Won't Believe It. That's the name of that. It's a feature film we're showing.
Oh, cool. Sweetie Won't Believe It. That's awesome.
Sweetie, You Won't Believe It. Yeah.
Nice. And then here's.
Yeah.
Oh, come on now, pop up there. There we go. So it looks like Wall. I'm not sure what the title of this one is. But
so this is a short film we're showing. It's a new short film called Wall Number 4.
Oh, okay.
And we are. It's an excellent short film. It just played Fantastic Fest in Austin, if you're familiar with that festival.
Nice.
But it's a really well done film. Are you familiar with like the third wall, that expression? Or the
Oh
wall,
yeah.
in film and cinematography and television, if you break the wall, you look at the camera.
Oh,
So that's
breaking the fourth wall.
so that's the
Yeah.
concept, of
Okay.
it. But it's really well done. It's clever. It's very high production value.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite shorts this year.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another shot from it.
Cool.
So it's set in a movie theater, and that's why we're seeing the pictures of these people in the movie theater. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So yeah, it sounds like there's a lot for everybody. Not just a little. There's wonderful meals for the senses. To participate in for Mile High Horror Film Fest this year online.
Yeah, we wanted to give people tons of options, and if I were looking for some new films to stream, I would want to be streaming these, and we're really super excited, and we can't wait to do something that's in person and virtual when that becomes possible as well. But this year we're excited to be able to share our program virtually.
Cool. Yeah, I think it'll be really exciting. So real quick, what are the dates again there, Tim?
So it's October 7th through the 13th. So it's a week from, depending upon when you're watching this, but if you're watching this today, it's a week from tomorrow, and then it runs to the following Wednesday. So the October 7th through the 13th.
Oh, that's awesome. So plenty of time to go get those packages, those online movie packages, and be able to stream at your convenience.
Yeah, and I don't want to take up the whole time talking about all the movies that we're showing this year, but there's also a short that we're really excited about called #Meow2.
Okay.
And the reason I'm bringing it up is if anyone watching this came to our festival last year, watched any of our films last year, you might have seen the feature film Fried Berry, which is out now. I'm sure you can stream Fried Berry out there now. I think it's on Shudder. I could be wrong, but so we featured that feature film last year, and the director of that movie does this short film, which is #Meow2, and this is going to be the U.S. premiere of that short. So we're super excited about that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I've interviewed Ryan Kruger, and he's an absolute delight. So that'll be quite the treat to be able to catch that.
Yeah, we're super excited about it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. So yeah, to get tickets, just go to Mile High or go to MHHFF.com, Mile High Horror Film Fest, and click the link to what is it? Not Eventbrite.
Oh, Ventive. But yeah, if you go to our website, you can just go to screenings, and there'll be a link to it, to the 2021 festival. So it's fairly easy to find there. Or if you go to any of our social media pages, we're on Insta, on Twitter, on Facebook. If you go to any of those pages, we do link to it in the bio of those pages.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Tim, it's so good to connect with you again online and chat with you. And on our end, we can't wait to get into those script readings and get those so you can share on social media during the event. But looking forward to Mile High Horror Film Fest online this year. 2021. It's going to be super exciting, and I definitely recommend that everybody who watches this go and visit the website and get your event links going, and buy a package and support amazing artists doing great things.
Well, we really appreciate your support, Dan, and of COFOH. And before I get off of here, I do want to say that I just found the title of that movie. It was on the tip of my tongue the whole time. The Korean indie film that I think anyone should see if you're into. It's a revenge thriller, and you've probably seen it, but it's called I Saw the Devil.
And I have seen that.
Yes,
nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. We featured it in the festival when it came out that year, or prior to its release. But if you're looking for something indie that you might not have seen, that's a feature film, that's always one of my top recommendations.
That is a gruesome film.
I Saw the Devil. Oh, it is. I remember just hearing the crowd go, ugh, sort of. Ugh.
Yeah. But, I was one of those.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I also recommend Old Boy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily the Spike Lee version, the original South Korean version.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, thanks for coming on and chatting with us about Mile High Horror Film Fest. Yeah, if you could, hang around for a few minutes while we sign off.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Dan. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. We love having you, and always here to support Mile High Horror Film Fest.
No, thank you very much.
Yeah, and then to everybody who tuned in, thanks so much for all your support. To Hellfire Entertainment, thanks for rebroadcasting us on your social media. Our friends at Groovy TV, we lost Groovy last year, but we carry on in his stead. And of course, Mile High or Mutiny Information Cafe. If you're gonna start a revolution, make sure you're caffeinated. And of course, our friends at Alien Donut Films, our sponsors there. Bill and Angela, and then my producers, Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong. Thanks so much for all your help, guys. And, for everybody that tuned in, thanks again. Make sure to go to MHHFF.com and get your tickets today. And, take care of each other during these tough times. And remember, we love you. Have a good night. Take care, everybody. And get ready for this Halloween season.